NFL Week 9 best bets. In this video, we go through every single game on Sunday as well as Monday Night Football. We give your favorite side, total, you name it. We cannot skip a game. They're all timestamped down below, but I couldn't do it by myself. I am joined by Logan. Logan, it is good to see you, but we need to recap last week. As always, I went 6-7. Yeah, you just hate to see it. You went 7-6. Just not a great week for the program. 500 overall. Still 55 and 56% hit rate on betting only spreads or totals. Not too shabby, but where we try to rely on is betting our best bet of the week, and we both lost. Mine didn't stand a chance. Sunday Night Football, Packers, Steelers under. Yours, I don't even know how you're here. Cowboys team total under 23.5. You could have faded the Cowboys legit any other way, and it cashed. But of course, they throw a garbage time touchdown. Tough one. We'll bounce back this week. As always, if you want all of our official plays, the ones that have yielded almost 25 units of profit so far through week 8, all the props, the parlays, you name it, those will get sent to you via the Dub Club. You can join. We post a bunch of the picks on YouTube as well, but you get some exclusive picks via the Dub Club, and you get a 50% off coupon. So it's only $7.50. Get all the plays pinged to your phone, email, however you want to get them. They can be sent to you. Again, you can join. Link is down below. But Logan, let's dive into the games, and we need to go and begin out in Pittsburgh, where we have one of our wagons this season. The Indiana Jones and the Colts are just continually chug along. There are two teams this season that are 6-2 against the spread, and once you know, the Indianapolis Colts are one of them. I assume you're going to roll with them again because I don't know if there's been a week you haven't, but I'll let you talk about why you like the Colts today.
Yeah, Austin, you know exactly that why I'm on the Colts. They're a wagon. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that's what I'm going to continue to go with this Colts team. Now, I really do like the matchup because they are running the ball at such an efficient rate with Jonathan Taylor. That travels. Run game always travels, and again, you set yourself up in such a good position when you're able to get 5 yards a carry, set it up for second and third down in short. So being in front of the chains is always a good thing. And number two, the matchup against the Pittsburgh secondary is terrible, or is terrible for the Pittsburgh secondary, because last week I might have had an overreactionary statement when I said can't tell if they're as good as the Jets secondary are. Somebody attacked me in the comments. You know what? Fair. I understand the Jets are bad, but that Steelers secondary is sneaky bad. This is a very, very bad unit. I think the Colts still are able to get some explosive plays in this one, and until they really fix defensively their issues for Pittsburgh, I don't really see them being able to hang around with Indianapolis. So even with the road favorites in this role, I'm still rolling with the Colts. No reason to go away from it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you for all the reasons you said. I'll take them minus the 3. If you can get a 2.5, cool. But again, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense has been not a good unit. I mean, you look at passing yards against them. Jordan Love, 360. Joe Flacco, 342. Dylan Gabriel, only 220. But then Carson Wentz the week before, 350. This secondary has really struggled, and I get they have some big names back there like Jalen Ramsey and stuff like that carry some weight, Joey Porter Jr., but those guys cannot. Darius Slay, they all seem pretty washed, if I'm going to be honest, and they're just getting torched by anyone. And this is a great Colts unit, and if you can't stop the passing game, good luck stopping Jonathan Taylor, because that man, I saw the tweet that was like, the quote's like, oh, you couldn't run for a yard in the NFL, and it's Jonathan Taylor with like an 8-yard gap just running right through it. I mean, good luck, Steelers. You have a tough task to stop him, and then you have to rely on the secondary. I can't get there. I think they're favored for a reason. I think the Steelers, who have had a good start to the season, 4-3, I think they're gonna drop this one. So I'll take the Colts again with you, minus 3. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's move to our next game, where we have a battle of division foes, NFC North battle. We have JJ McCarthy looking to come back to start for the Vikings as they go on the road into Detroit, Ford Field, to take on the Lions. A big number here, though, Logan, 8.5 points. A big spread, over under at 48.5. Logan, what you like here?
Yeah, so I'm just rolling with the Detroit team total over. I think this is an easy bet to make, just because I don't care what their defense does. If maybe JJ McCarthy instills a little bit of life in this Minnesota offense, I don't know. I don't care. I want to isolate variables. I just want to take the Lions team total because I think they will go up and down the field with ease against a Minnesota defense that I think this is also a bottom 10 unit, potentially like a bottom third unit in the NFL. And I don't think that's really controversial. Knowing what Brian Flores is doing with this defense, I think he's lost. I don't see any sorts of continuity defensively. They went on the road against a Chargers team that was kind of struggling offensively, and they got wiped. I mean, it just everything they wanted to do defensively, the Chargers had a plan of attack. Now you face a division foe in Detroit. That's not going to travel well. And Detroit, also one of those teams Austin and I kind of like betting props for. Why? Because they run up the score. They're normally not satisfied with just an easy win, coasted out. Now in the Monday night lottery they were, but normally they're not. And I think they want to stick it to their division foe in this one, try to hang 30 on them. So even though the team total is high, it's high because the total's high, and I see a lot of offensive, firepower in this one.
Yeah, I mean, my best bet of the week for this game is going to be Jamison Williams' first quarter receiving yards.
Oh.
Probably ladder him up to 15 or more. You'll probably cash that on the first play. If you know, you
Mhm.
know. Logan, I'm in the same kind of breath as you, but I'm just going to take the full game over. I'm not going to get cute with the Lions, although I do think they can rack up the points. I believe since Brian Flores became defensive coordinator, they've scored 30, 30, 31, and 31. So I don't hate your team total over, but I think the Vikings can get something going. Coming off, not a great week last week on Thursday. I mean, Carson Wentz was playing with a torn labrum. It was nasty. I think they show up here. They've been able to score on this Lions defense before, and maybe coming off a bye week, maybe the Lions aren't super serious. JJ McCarthy, not a guy that they've seen ever. And so I could see JJ finally getting some more weeks under his belt where he sat back, kind of was able to digest everything they're trying to do. It's kind of now or never for him. And I think he finally shows up. Also, the Lions notoriously give up a lot of rush yards to QBs. I'm looking for JJ McCarthy to use his legs a little bit here because they play so much man coverage. And maybe that's a prop you take a peek at. We'll see if he's comfortable running, even though he's coming back from an injury. I think he's going to need to. I like the over, though, which I'm currently looking at 48.5. Lions, if they want to run up the score, by all means, I'll allow it. Our next game, Chargers taking on the Titans. Right now, the Chargers are 9.5-point favorites. The over/under at 43.5. Logan, I can lead things off. You can't get sharp with the Titans. Give me the Chargers minus 9.5. The team sucks. Do we need to say anymore? They suck. And I get it's a West Coast team coming East Coast and whatnot. I really do not care. This team is terrible. The Chargers got back going on Thursday night. I think they continue to roll here. I mean, the Titans are just an abysmal team to watch. You just look at them, and they don't look like they know what's going on. It's like they don't even know what the plays they're running. Obviously, they've only won one game this season. In their losses, they've lost by 8, 14, 21, 26, 10, 18, and 24 points. The team sucks. And I know a sucky team when I see one. They're that. I'm taking the Chargers. I don't care. I'll lay the big points. I don't care. Give me the Chargers minus the points. Logan, what do you like here?
Picking the Titans would just be stupid. I mean, maybe they cover, and maybe if you're sharp, you win this one. If the Chargers win by like 7, I'm right there with you though. I'm not trying to get sharp here. I think the Titans brand of football is really really bad. I was watching their offense, kind of like how they were kind of attacking the Colts. They're just using guys that like you just really don't think a whole lot of. Tyjae Spears, DK, the out of Florida Gator. I know him, and I'm just like scratching my head. I'm like, what is this offensive identity? It's really just like Cam Ward, Chuck and pray. Like it's him running around for his life. That Titans defense can't tackle worth a damn, and it's crazy because these are professional athletes. They could not get Jonathan Taylor on the ground. And yes, I know this Chargers offense is not as explosive as Indianapolis, but I still think they're really good. So I'm going to take the Chargers. Hopefully they show up and they don't come out flat, because that's the only thing I worry really about, is that they kind of like take the Titans for granted. But as long as they play the football they should cover.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. I mean, sure, you could get sharp with the Titans if you want. They are 2-6 against the spread. Only one other team is as bad as them against the spread. It's the New Orleans Saints, and they're benching their QB. So that's never a good. I got nothing for you. Good luck. If you're betting on the Titans, you're just saying a prayer. Our next game, we have the battle of the Falcons, who looked terrible on Sunday, versus the Patriots, who have been looking like one of the best teams in football. Or Drake May consistently is dominating teams. He is looking like a borderline MVP candidate. That is how good he has been playing. And the Patriots look like they've just kind of turned over a new leaf from Tom Brady, took a couple of years off, and boom, you got their next future franchise QB. Logan, what do you like in this game, though? I know you've gone back and forth back in the Patriots this season. They are the other team that is 6-2 against the spread as the Colts. What do you like here, though?
Yeah, Austin, I think almost every week I've backed the Patriots. I've never tried to get sharp and faded until now. I'm going to do it. I think this is the spot that money line parlays could be busted. It just looks so easy. Like sometimes in NFL, there's times when I'm like, this just feels so easy. This feels like an empty out my bankroll on Patriots minus 5.5, and I just collect my money. And then what do you know? The Falcons sneak in, potentially pull out a win that nobody saw coming. I still think there's a lot of talent on this Falcons team. I just think week to week, you don't know what they're getting. They're losing 1 week 30-0 to the Panthers, then they're beating the Bills in a great spot. And then they put up a stinker like they did last week against the Dolphins. There's no consistency, but there are flashes of good football. And I think they rise up, again, pun intended, that's their slogan. I think they rise up in this spot to meet Drake May, because that Patriots defense, I don't think is really, I don't think they're as good of a unit as maybe advertised. Drake May's explosive. He keeps finding Kayshon Boutte for some explosive touchdowns. If Atlanta can cap that and just kind of make Drake May have to beat them by checking it down short and underneath, I think they're going to have a lot of success in them. And I know Atlanta will have a game plan. I know Raheem Morris will have a game plan like that. And I think they're going to challenge Drake May. So give me the Falcons plus the points. I think the Patriots should be on upset alert in this one, because the Falcons are hungry and the Patriots have just been kind of cruising. They haven't faced any adversity until now.
Yeah, I told you pre-show that I almost had 2 best bets of the week. And as you guys know, we save our best bet for the end of this video. It almost was in this game. I really like the under 45.5. For all the reasons you touched on, I think if the Falcons are to be close and pull off an upset, they got to keep this game low scoring, because if it gets into a shootout, I don't trust Michael Penix, or if it's Kirk Cousins under center, to be able to put up points with the likes of Drake May. But this Falcons defense has kind of been an up and down unit. You never know what you're getting from them. They give up 34 to the Dolphins, but then they do look really good against the Bills. It's just like, what are we getting from them? I don't know, but I think that they show up after just a disaster of a game. They couldn't run the football. They didn't play any defense. It was a disaster. It's like they overlooked the Dolphins. They're not overlooking the Patriots, a team that is obviously 6-2 so far this season. This is a must-have for the Falcons. You're going to get everything they got. I trust their head coach. I think they have a good defensive game plan. Drake May, obviously, is as talented as they come, but if you kind of compare guys like Drake May, who is the comparison they always give, Josh Allen, and we just saw what they did to Josh Allen and company. I think they're prepared for that, scrambling and whatnot, trying to make plays. They'll be ready for it. And this is a lower scoring game. I don't think there's 46 points here. Give me the under. Logan, let's move on to a game that I was told pre-show is your best bet of the week. Your Carolina Panthers taking on the Packers. As you guys know, we save our best bet of the week till the end of the show. So if you want to know Logan's thoughts on this game, his favorite one of the week, you have to wait till the end. However, for my pick, I won't spend too much time. I'm not getting sharp here. I'm taking the Packers -6.5 in the first half. You could take 7, but obviously I want the touchdown. The Packers are the better team. They're the better defense, better offense, better everything. The Panthers are bad, and I love your Panthers polo shirt, man. They stink, and you should know it. I don't know if it's Andy Dalton. Don't know if it's Bryce Young. I think it's Bryce Young if I had to put money on it, but I just can't get sold on it. And they're down another offensive lineman. I mean, sure, maybe Rico Dowdle starts to get more carries, but it's not going to be easy sledding against the Packers defense. It's been really good against the run. Then they really don't have the playmakers on the outside to make plays on third down against heavy man coverage. Yeah, I'm fading your Panthers. I'm sorry, man. You can't fade my Jets this week because we're on a bye. So suck it. Let's take the Packers 6.5 first half. Then, Logan, speaking of best bets, let's go to the next game where my best bet is, where we have the Texans playing host to the Broncos. Texans are currently in a pick'em on the money line, over under 39.5. Logan, I'll let you touch on this game, and then I'll save my best bet for the end of the video. What do you like here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see an edge on the money line. Maybe you'll see an edge there, but I do like the over in this game. You could say it's a little bit bait, sitting at 39.5. Again, that's a really, really low total, but I just think it can sneak over. And we've seen that a lot in the NFL this year. Low total sneak over or just soar over, actually. Like it's not a year to see a low total and take the under. That has not paid this year as far as trends go. Number one, that Texans game last week was so damn weird against the Niners. They possessed the ball for an eternity. The Niners did not have any possessions like in the first half at all. It was like a historic stat. They brought it up in the telecast. I don't even remember it now because here we are, midweek.
That guy that had George Kittle first quarter receiving yards. They ran like 3 plays in the first quarter. It was they never stood a chance.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was a crazy, crazy game flow. And there was still some points in that one late. So despite all that, there was still some points in that one. So knowing kind of what Denver wants to do, Denver wants to air the ball out. This is not your Denver 2015 Peyton Manning hand the ball off and just chew clock. And it's not that anymore. It's not rely on their defense because their defense is good. But with Pat Surtain injured, again, I don't know his status of this game. He missed the end of that Cowboys game, but there's some secondary concerns. I think CJ Stroud can move the ball up and down the field on this Broncos team. And again, we talked about this Broncos offense before. They want to air it out. They just want to, they don't want to possess the ball. That's not what they want to do. And I think they're going to be able to get some yards and some touchdowns on this Texans team as long as these red zone possessions result in touchdowns, which I have faith in these red zone offenses. I see some points in this one. So again, I kind of like this one to sneak over. Low total, but I'm not scared by that.
Yeah, Logan, I'll touch on that game at the end of the video, and it is not a side on the pick on the total. So we will talk about a money line in that game that I really do like. But let's keep things moving. I'll save that for the end of the video as we have another solid showdown between the San Francisco 49ers and the New York Giants. The 49ers are 2.5 point favorites. The over under at 48.5. Logan, I'll lead things off here. I'm going to be on the 49ers. Could it be a trap? Maybe, but I really don't care. I'll take them minus the 2.5. I'm not laying the money line at minus 155. I don't know if Brock Purdy or Mac Jones is under center this week, but I don't really care. They looked bad last week. I think they show up this week. This is a Giants team I feel like is losing one of their heart and soul guys, Cam Scatterbo. Get well soon to him, obviously out for the season. And while you can bring in and Tyrone Tracy and maybe he'll fill in and maybe it's the workload is the same or whatever, it doesn't bring the same energy as a guy like Cam Scatterbo does. It just feels like him in the locker room gives him a ton of good vibes. That's like Jackson Dart's best friend, it looks like. And I just think this team struggles here to kind of bounce back after that loss. They got spanked last week by the Eagles, divisional foe. I just trust the 49ers a little bit. They've kind of been an up and down team. They look good one week, look bad the next. They looked bad last week, so it's on brand for them to look good. Traveling east, don't love an early start here, but I don't think it matters. 49ers, the better coach team as well. I like the 49ers on the spread, but what do you like here, Logan?
Yeah, this was in consideration for one of my best bets as well. I really like the under in this game. Again, high total, not really scared by that. I just think the under is the play here. Number one, I don't think this is going to be a narrative talked about, so I want to introduce this narrative. What happens in the Meadowlands? We know there's a lot of injuries on that turf, a lot of injuries in that stadium too. One of the most banged up injury prone teams is the Niners. So I'm not throwing that out in the universe. I'm just saying I've seen weirder things than the Niners going into the stadium and maybe having some bad vibes, bad juju, whatever. Hopefully it's not Christian McCaffrey. Love watching him. But this is a Niners team that just can't stay out of their own way as far as getting healthy. Obviously, getting Kittle back was good. I think that defense, though, is playing really well. Again, life after Fred Warner. They have to figure some things out. On the road last week was a tough spot against CJ Stroud. But I think now facing a decimated Giants offense without Scatterbo, that takes a lot of explosiveness out of that offense because Tyrone Tracy can only get you so far. Darius Slayton only gets you so far. Really, like there's not enough playmakers on that offense for me to really think about them just running away with this one. So I love the under in this one. The Niners are just going to want to get in and get out. Like I said, injuries happen in MetLife Stadium. It's weird. It's a weird thing. I just think I want to get in, get out, business trip under in this game. No need to run up the score on the Giants.
Yeah, no, I like that under call as well. Our next game, if you want an under, this might not be the great game to take it for, as we have the Bears taking on the Bengals. Over under at 51.5. Bengals are 2.5 point dogs at home. Speaking of not taking the under, that's not what I'm doing here, Logan. I'm on the over. I'm not overcomplicating it. The Bengals just gave up 6 million points to the dang New York Jets. And if you watch the Jets offense this season, they suck. They are an abysmal unit. They can't stop the run. They can't do anything. And I just don't know how the Bears, have their offense looked great recently? No. I mean, Caleb Williams only has 2 pass touchdowns in his last 4 weeks. But again, it's like an unstoppable force meets immovable object. I mean, this is now or never, man. You got to get going. And as for the Bengals offense, they like to run it a little bit with Chase Brown and Samaje Perine, but every pass attempt is to Jamar Chase, sometimes a little T. Higgins sprinkled in. And I don't think the Bears have any chance of stopping that. So again, I think this is a lot of points. 51.5 is a high line. I understand that, but they gave up 39 points to the New York Jets. That is abysmal, and I'm fading them. Give me the over. I do think the Bengals, if I had to pick a spread pick, I might lean them. But Logan, what do you like here?
Yeah, I mean, what you just touched on, if you lean Bengals, that's where I was going to be. I'm going to be on Bengals in this one. Bears is that's not
Do
the
you
spot.
do you think it's more value to take the money line like plus 125?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, give me the value on them on the money line because I do think they win this game outright. Number one, this Bears offense, I was really disappointed with what I saw last week. I thought we'd get a little bit more. They involved Roma Dunze, which is something you and I kind of like to see. But outside of that, red zone efficiency pretty bad. Now, can things get better against the Bengals? Sure, they can. Terrible defense, but I will also counter that with this Bengals offense being a pretty good unit. I mean, they went up and down the field, no problem on that Jets team. I still think they're going to be able to move the ball on this Bears team, and I really don't like the Bears being road favorites. That's just not where you want them. Like you think about that Bears defense. You talked about the Bengals getting carved up by the Jets. They got carved up by Snoop Huntley. I mean, that was not a good look either. I'd say that was just as bad as a look because this Ravens team had no life, no continuity at all, and they got carved up as well. So I do like your over angle. That's a good angle. But rather than root for points, I think the home team bounces back a little bit after a very embarrassing loss to the Jets at home. Those Bengals fans were sitting there shell shocked, like mouth to the floor, like what did I just watch? Those players will be motivated after that one. You don't let a bad Bears team come into your house and beat you. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. I do like that pick as well. Like I said, if I were to be on anyone, I would be on the Bengals there. Our next game, we have, I think, the biggest spread of the week as we have the Saints going on the road, taking on the Rams. Who are coming off their bye week. Saints 14, maybe 14 and a half point dogs here. Over under 43 and a half. They're starting Tyler Shuck now. Oh, man, they are a disaster of a unit. And with all that said, I'm taking the Saints team total over 13 and a half. I mean, it's nasty. And they might not score first half, but I feel like they find a way. I trust Kellen Moore. Tyler Shuck cannot be worse than Spencer Rattler. And they still have talented pass catchers. We'll see if they keep all of them by the game time with the trade deadline approaching. But I still think they can give me 14, right? They can give me 14 points. It might be a disaster of a wager, but I still think coming off a couple nasty games where it's just like they just did not look good. I think with change at the helm, change under center might be something they need. I think they have talented enough playmakers. Kamara, Shaheed, Alave, 14 points. Rams coming off a bye. There's no way in hell the Rams are circling this game. They're like, we don't even care about this divisional foe. We're just gonna run right through them. They got San Francisco on deck next week, trying to get their lick back after losing on Thursday night a few weeks ago. They're not thinking about this game. Saints, find a way to give me 14. Find a way. Logan, what do you like?
That's a really, really nasty pick. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
but I've seen crazier than seeing bad teams sneak over a low team total. So don't hate the angle. I'm just gonna be on Rams. I'm gonna lay all the points with the Rams, just like we talked about last week with the massive spread and the Colts Titans. Maybe massive spreads can scare you off a little bit, but I'm not. I'm so far out on the Saints offense. I mean, it was trying to watch them cross midfield was very challenging in that Bucks game. I mean, we know the ladder died there, but it was a real challenge to watch. Spencer Rattler do it, and then they said, "Seen enough. Let's throw in Tyler Shuck. Like that's going to make any difference." Spoiler alert: it did not make a difference. This team is still bad. Their defense. Their defense is playing better, but Rams off a bye is, I think, the key here because yes, they in a normal circumstance, I think they would overlook this opponent, but they're coming rested off a bye. So I think they'll be very focused in this one. I think they move the ball up and down with ease. I just think this one's like a 3-touchdown blowout. I don't see any way to get to the Rams, or to get to the Saints. So give me Rams.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. 13 and a half is a solid number. I don't blame you taking that at all. Our next game, Logan, is a game that honestly, I don't have a great lean on this one as we have the Jaguars and Raiders both coming off their bye weeks. Jacksonville's 3-point favorites here, over under at 45 and a half. Obviously, Jags looked good, have lost, a couple in a row. Raiders have looked terrible. They're 2-5. Logan, do you have any confidence in this game? What would you pick?
I think the under is the play in this one. I know both teams off of a bye, but these are two quarterbacks that I just can't trust to take care of the ball at all. I mean, Trevor Lawrence and Geno. It's like both these guys can be driving in the red zone and just make a dumb boneheaded mistake. So I like the under in this one. I think we're just seeing a low spread, for a reason because the books don't really know how to price this game because you never really know what you're getting with this Raiders offense. I do know that if the Raiders had it their way, they want to dink and dunk their way down the field. They want to feed Ashton Genty as much as they can. Get guys involved in the underneath passing game. And I think that's kind of where they can move the ball on the Jags. I just see some sustained drives that result in field goals. And game flow wise, I think, the Jags are certainly capable of doing that as well. Not really being able to use Brian Thomas Jr. this year has kind of hindered that offense from being what I think they like. Expectation versus reality. I think everyone coming into this year expected this Jags offense to take another leap. They just haven't shown any consistency, Austin. So even after the bye, I think we're going to see a low scoring game. I don't really have any sort of lean on the spread. Maybe you do though. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been going flip flopping while you've been talking, trying to think about what I would bet on the spread. I lean Raiders, so I'll take the Raiders plus the points. But
Mm.
when I say lean, it's like I barfed in a bucket. Here you go, lean. Like it's just nasty. I take them 3.5. I just don't have a lot of faith in the Jags on the road here. They've just not a team that
Mm.
instills a lot of confidence in me. Coming off a just a disaster last week for the Raiders, lost 31-0 to the Chiefs. Coming back home here, they've played decently well at home. Like they beat the Titans, good for them. They only lost by one of the Bears. That was a competitive game, even though Geno threw like 3 picks. And their other game was against the Chargers in week 2, where it was sort of competitive. They just couldn't punch it in on any of their drives. I think with Max Crosby and company, they're able to get some pressure here, make what's his name, Trevor Lawrence's life difficult. Also, should be the return of Brock Bowers. It feels like they've kind of had him out for a lot of weeks after the bye week. It looks like he should be ready to go. Obviously, we're filming this on Tuesday night, so we don't really know the first slate of practice reports, but I would be shocked if Brock Bowers is not ready to go and not 100% here. And he was a big part of their offense last season. I felt like it was a big part of their offense this season, and then he was injured and was not 100%. So like their offense really has been down their best weapon. And then their other number one weapon, Jacoby Myers, says he wants to get traded in every press conference. So that doesn't really go too well. I think they show up here though at home, give their fans something to root for. I like them plus 3.5. But like I said, it is a barf bucket. Keep it moving. I hate my life kind of play. Let's move to the next game, arguably the biggest game of the weekend though. Let's get out of that game as we have Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Buffalo Bills. Every time these two teams matched up, it's always a classic. And right now they got basically pick them. Chiefs are 2.5-point favorites, over under 52.5. Logan, biggest game of the week by far. Everyone's going to be watching this one. There's a reason the two games matching it within the 4 o'clock window are doo-doo, and they don't even care. The NFL needs this game to pan out, and I think it will. But what do you like here?
Yeah, I hope this one pans out too, because I'm excited to see how this one's gonna go. Right now, I have a pretty strong lean on Chiefs. I love the football they're playing right now. Getting Rashee Rice back, I think they're morphing into the team that a lot of people expected. Early on in the year they had some hurdles that they had to get over, but just being able to go out and take care of business on Monday Night Football and do it pretty convincingly, I think this team's playing at a very high level, and I still have my questions about the Buffalo defense. I mean, Josh Allen, he's good. We know what he's able to do every time he faces the Chiefs. He's in prime form. This is the game that Josh Allen has circled on his calendar. I expect him to show up and get his playmakers involved. But what I know is that the Chiefs defense is significantly better than the Carolina Panthers defense. The Carolina Panthers let James Cook go for over 200 yards, which was it was atrocious, but it was the way in which it happened. They just kept throwing toss sweep, toss sweep, toss sweep every time to Cook, and he would beat every Panthers defender to the edge, get like 10 yards a carry. It was incredible to watch. Guess what? The Chiefs are smarter than that. They will not let that happen. The Buffalo Bills were going to have to try to game plan a little bit more for this one. I think they're going to be challenged because this Chiefs defense is looking very, very strong. Obviously not a huge test with Mariota last week, but they're going to throw some great some looks at Josh Allen. Spagnuolo, a great defensive mind. I just think the Chiefs are the better team right now at this moment. So give me Kansas City.
Yeah, I like your lean. I'm going to be actually on the over. We've seen some high scoring games on Sunday Night Football. I think we get one here. I mean, the Chiefs' offense looks like it can't be stopped. It looks like Pacheco is going to be out. Yeah, we ain't running the football. We're going to be honest. We ain't running it. Kareem Hunt, get your ass back on the sideline. We're just not running it for 2 yards for you, man. So this is just going to be a heavy pass attack against the Bills. And the Bills have struggled to stop the pass. I mean, I just remember that Monday Night Football game. Drake London's literally wide open, and he's the only guy that the dang Falcons have. And I know last week they looked good against the Panthers and Andy Dalton, but Andy Dalton looked like he was playing with his eyes closed or his helmet turned on backwards because the man was lost. And I really think you'll see the Chiefs put up points. And the Bills, I feel like they always get cute when they face the Chiefs. It's always like abandon the run. We're chucking it with Josh Allen 600 times. He has the playmakers to make plays. Chiefs really haven't faced, in my opinion, a really elite offense as of late. I think there's points in this game. I wish I could get the 51, which is always that key number where it's like 27-24 or something like that. But I'll take the 51.5 on hopes that we see another game similar to what we saw Packers and Steelers, similar to what we've seen on Sunday Night Football. Give me an over. It's square. I don't care. Give it to me. Sunday Night Football, Logan. We got Sunday night, Monday night, and then our best bets of the week. We have the Seahawks taking on the Commanders. Seattle's currently 3-point favorites. The over-under 47.5. Logan, I'll lead things off here. I actually like the under here. I could potentially fade Sam Darnold and take the commies, but I think the under is safer play. I don't know if Jaden Daniels is back under center or if it's Mariota again. I honestly don't really care. I just am not a big believer in the Seahawks offense consistently. The Commanders defense looked good in the first half, slowing down Mahomes. The second half came, they just didn't show up. But this is Sam Darnold and company. He really only has Jackson Smith and Jigba. That is pretty much his only weapon that he throws to. So if they can stop the run, double team him, figure anything else out, I think this is a game where you see some field goals. And then the Seahawks defense is getting healthier. They're playing better, coming off their bye week. I think they show up here. Commanders offense has not been what it's been last year. I talked about this on our Monday Night Football video. Last year, they were converting third downs at a 45% clip. This week, prior to their last game on Monday night, 35%. So again, much worse offense, more film on them, and they've been struggling. I like the under. Logan, what do you like?
Yeah, I hear your angle on that. Dick can't disagree at all. I'm going to be on the Commanders plus the points in this one. Home underdog spot. I think they show up. Everyone that watched Monday Night Football knew that it was never commies. That was never the angle in that game. They were just not meant to win or cover that game. That was just a really tough matchup on the road in Arrowhead. Primetime Mahomes. It's what it's going to be. Now you have a great bounce back opportunity. Dan Quinn's going to have these guys focused. And if it is Mariota, I wouldn't mind that at all because it would just be another week of him, another start under his belt. Last week, you and I were kind of laughing. The Commanders were still throwing the ball, even when you could wave the white flag, you could hand the ball off. What the Commanders are trying to do is they're trying to get Mariota more reps in this offense. They're trying to just get him, exposed to a lot of these, playmakers. Zach Ertz. It's great to see Terry McLaurin back, and because I think he is the key to this Commanders offense. He was why they were more efficient last year because he's able to take the top off the defense. When Terry McLaurin's not there, what are you going to do? You're just going to sit underneath. You're going to sit for Krosky Mary. That Deebo Samuel ain't prime Deebo Samuel anymore. He's not going to get behind anybody. So you're able to play a very aggressive defense, but with Terry back there, you're not able to creep up to the line of scrimmage, bring your safeties up. And I think that's that's going to challenge the Seahawks in a way that I don't think they're ready for. And again, Sam Darnold on the road, Sunday Night Football, those are all things that I just don't trust. I don't trust that he's going to be able to go into Landover and get a decisive win. So all that being said, I think the Commanders are live underdogs in this one. Wouldn't be shocked if they win it outright. I'll take the +3 though for safety.
Yeah, you can get them at 3.5. I do like that. I do want to address. I did say the Chiefs game was Sunday Night Football. Obviously, I know it's not. I still like points though. There's got to be points again. That's the only good Thursday or Sunday afternoon game. They need points. There will be points. Our final game of the week, Logan, is we have the highest total on the board, where we have the Cardinals with the return of Kyler Murray taking on the Cowboys. Right now, I'm looking at a total around 53, 54.5 points galore. And right now, the Cowboys are 2.5-point favorites. Before we get to our best bets of the week, we have to wrap up with this one. I'm going to take the Cowboys -2.5. I have no faith in this Cardinals offense. I think they are better with Jacoby Brissett under center. I think when Kyler Murray comes in, he has more flash to him, can make more plays, but he can't make the simple plays. And that is the problem when you watch the Cardinals. He can't consistently convert on third down. Where it's got like Jacoby Brissett comes in, makes those throws, and they move on. They kick field goals, whatever it may be. The running back room is a disaster as well. Just cut Michael Carter, although he's probably coming back here. Bam Knight, DeMercado. I mean, that's just not a great unit. And I don't know if the Cowboys secondary is great. It isn't. But I think they can find a way to slow down this Cardinals passing attack. And the Cardinals defense secondary especially has been pretty bad. So look for Dak Prescott to probably throw for 4 million yards on Monday night. They're not losing back-to-back. Give me the Cowboys. Logan, what do you like, though?
I was hoping you would take Cowboys because I'm fading you right to your face. I'm going to be on Cardinals. I just think Cowboys is the just It's the easy, standalone Monday Night Football game. Not so fast. This Cowboys secondary is about to be putting some warm bodies out there that have no business playing in the secondary. I forgot who got injured in that Cowboys game, but they were talking about it on the telecast. They're like, they don't have guys to even spare. They're going to be playing out of position players eventually in that secondary because they're just so decimated. So Kyler Murray coming back, I fully expect Kyler Murray to play in this game. Kyler Murray this is a get right spot for Kyler Murray because he's shown some flashes as he typically does, but he doesn't play game in and game out the same. I mean, he'll have his good games, he'll have his bad games. This is going to be a great game. This is going to be a Kyler Murray 350 and 3 touchdown game. Book it. Right there, I think he gets McBride, he gets Marvin Harrison Jr. involved. Just too many playmakers through the air, honestly, against the Dallas defense that's just, they can't stop a nosebleed. So really, it just comes down to the Cardinals defense being good enough to limit Dak. And I think that's what happens in this one. So give me Cardinals plus the points. I think they can even win this one outright.
Yeah, I just looked it up and I thought Kyler Murray is from Dallas. He's actually from Bedford, right between Fort
Boom.
Worth and
Love
Dallas.
that.
So we might be cooked, friends, but we'll do a battle to end on Monday Night Football. But Logan, it is time for our best bets of the week. I'll let you lead things off. You're going to your Panthers game. Take it away. What's your best bet of the weekend?
Yeah, guys. So you see the Panthers sweatshirt on. Don't let that deceive you. I'm not backing the Carolina Panthers in any way. In fact, I'm fading my own team. And Austin already mentioned his bet in this game. It's crazy. Sometimes him and I work on the exact same wavelength. I revealed my best bet, and he's like, I already had that typed up for myself. I'm going to be on Packers first half spread -6.5. Now, normally my Packers system, if you've been watching week in and week out, I take the opponent first half team total under. Last week, they didn't look good for first half. The defense got, exposed a little bit in the first half. That didn't cash. The recipe for success is you play a Carolina team that sucks against the blitz. They are just so bad against aggressive defenses. We saw Buffalo. What did Buffalo do last week? Pin your ears back, go hunting for Andy Dalton. It works. And it's just sometimes that simple. Now you get to unleash guys like Micah Parsons against the Panthers offensive line that's now down Brady Christensen, which is a big loss. He tore his Achilles. Get well soon, hopefully, for him. One of our better offensive linemen. Now he's out. So plug and play, offensive line reshuffling. That's not what I want against the Green Bay Packers, especially in the first half. I mentioned sometimes these teams can have success against Green Bay because they figure out blitz pickup at halftime. Well, they don't have that luxury, especially being on the road in this spot. Road Panthers, complete fade. They're a fade in every sense of the word fade. But again, if it's Andy Dalton, if it's Bryce Young, I don't really care who's back at quarterback. They're not going to have a whole lot of time to throw in this one. They're going to have to pray that Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard is an efficient running game to just take some pressure off that quarterback. But I don't think that's going to happen. So I think I think Jordan Love really goes up and down the field on this Panthers defense that got shredded by James Cook. I mean, I could see a very similar thing happening with Josh Jacobs this week. Josh Jacobs could have 80 yards at halftime. They just might not need a whole lot of Jordan Love. But if they do, our secondary is still suspect. As you saw last week, could not get Khalil Shakir on the ground. Come on, man. This Panthers team slipping a little bit. And I love my boys. I like that they might play scrappy in the second half. But in the first half, total fade for me. So Austin and I are both coincidentally on the Packers first half spread. Love that as my best bet. But Austin, what you rolling with?
Yeah, to wrap up the video, my best for the weekend is, drum roll, I'm on the Texans on the money line. I'm taking them, I think it's -115, -118. I'm fading the Broncos, who have won 5 straight games. You get that. But as Logan kind of touched on, Pat Surtain, he is out actually for 4 to 6 weeks. And I think that's a big blow to their secondary. The rest of them have been good, but again, you're missing your best guy. This is a Texans team. When you go to Houston, it's not easy to win. We saw them already beat the 49ers. They're playing after a strong start. They're playing good football. And while you can say, yeah, the Broncos have won 5 straight, I get that, but when they've been on the road, the team has not looked good. We saw them lose their first 2 road games against the Colts and Chargers. Their next one was against the Eagles, where they were down 17-3, and the Eagles got cute and lost that one. And they barely beat my Jets. Granted, it was technically a home game. That was that one out in London, where they beat us by 2. I mean, those are bad teams. This is a Houston defense that is legit. They're as legit as it gets. They're playing tough. And Bo Nix, that offense, they love to throw it. I could see him making a mistake or two, throwing a pick, maybe a pick 6. Would not shock me at all. I think they get way too cute on offense to beat Houston. You got to run the football. If you can't do it, you're not going to beat them. That's as simple as that. That's the 49ers team. They learned that the hard way. They tried to get cute, didn't run it too well. found themselves down and they were dead because this Texans defense is as good as it gets. I think they win this game. Give me the Texans on the money line. Also, a little narrative, not narrative, but the Broncos are on a short week coming up. They have Thursday Night Football against the divisional team, the Raiders. I could see them maybe overlooking this game as they just want this is a quick road trip, get into Houston, go back to Denver. Maybe they overlook it. Give me the Broncos, best of the week, their money line. Those are the picks. As always, if you want all the official picks, the props, parlays, whatever we're rolling with, we will post those in the Dub Club. You get the videos, but again, we post them in the Dub Club almost 24 hours in advance for the NFL videos especially. So again, the lines are going to move quick. If you want them, join $7.50, 50% off for your first month. Get on in there, and we'll see you guys in sweating out these plays. It's Austin Logan. We're out of here. Go not go Broncos, go Texans, and go Packers. Those are what we're rooting for on Sunday. Let's have ourselves a weekend, and let's get back to what we've been doing our last season. 58% churning together the winning weeks. I've been like 500 the last 3. Not happening this week. I'm dominating the Bucks. Let's have ourselves a week. See you in the next one. Peace.